Today, we are uncovering the 5 Australian car battery brands sitting on dealership and auto store shelves that are secretly engineered to leave you completely stranded the moment your warranty expires. From massive household names using cheap thin lead plates to generic auto store batteries that fail to hold a charge after a single year, you're being sold a highly expensive, disposable black box. Stay with me to the very end, because after we expose the worst power traps in the country, I'm going to reveal the 3 bulletproof battery brands that will actually start your engine on a freezing outback morning. Australians have been sold a massive, highly profitable lie about the batteries in our cars. We assume that because a battery costs $250, feels incredibly heavy, and has a sticker boasting about high cranking amps, it must be built to last. We look back to the days when a car battery would comfortably survive 6 or 7 years of harsh Australian driving without a single complaint. But here is the terrifying part that the automotive industry refuses to talk about. The global battery market has quietly executed a massive structural downgrade. Over the last decade, corporate manufacturers realized that if a battery lasts 7 years, they lose massive repeat business. So they changed the chemistry. They thinned out the internal lead plates to save money on raw materials. They used cheaper grid alloys that aggressively accelerate water loss and internal corrosion. They engineered a system where the battery perfectly survives the printed warranty period, often exactly 2 or 3 years, and then immediately suffers a catastrophic internal collapse. You think you are buying premium, long-lasting reliability, but you are actually renting a fragile chemical box that is mathematically designed to fail the moment you need it most. Let us pull back the curtain on the 5 worst battery traps you need to avoid today. Number 1. The Supercheap Auto Performance Range. Walk into any Supercheap auto across the country and you will see massive stacks of these bright blue batteries right at the front door. They are incredibly popular because they are often the absolute cheapest option on the shelf, and they come with the backing of a massive national retailer. But let us look at what is actually happening inside that plastic casing. Mechanics and highly frustrated Aussie drivers on product review consistently report a terrifyingly short lifespan. The Supercheap Auto Performance batteries are notorious for suffering sudden, irreversible cell failure long before you would expect. Drivers report purchasing the battery, using the car for daily suburban commuting, and finding the battery completely dead and unable to hold a charge in as little as 11 to 14 months. And here is where the massive retail trap springs shut. When you try to claim the warranty, owners frequently report that the store will put the battery on a tester and declare that because it will not accept a full charge, it constitutes user neglect or improper charging, immediately voiding the warranty. So why is this a massive problem? Because a car battery should not require you to aggressively manage its charge just to survive a year of driving. You are lured in by the cheap price tag and the maintenance-free promise, but you end up paying twice when you have to buy a replacement 12 months later. The shelf sticker suggests reliable starting power built tough for Australian conditions. But the frustrating reality is a highly fragile budget battery that frequently fails early and comes with a warranty that many shoppers feel is impossible to claim. And if you think buying from a dedicated roadside assistance brand protects you, number 2 is going to be a massive shock. Number 2, Marshall batteries. Everyone in Australia knows the famous jingle, "Holler for a Marshall." They are the absolute go-to brand when your car dies in a shopping centre car park and you need someone to come out and save you. You pay a premium price for the convenience of mobile delivery and installation. But let us look closely at the chemical makeup of the batteries they are bolting into your car. Independent testing and industry critics point out a deeply concerning pattern regarding the antimony content in Marshall's internal grid alloy. To make the lead plates cheaper to cast, higher levels of antimony are often used. But what does that actually mean for your vehicle? It means the battery suffers from significantly higher rates of water loss and a much faster self-discharge rate. If you leave a Marshall battery sitting in a car that is not driven every single day, it loses its charge much faster than a premium competitor. Worse still, frustrated drivers report absolute silence when things go wrong. Users on independent review sites state that when their premium-priced Marshall battery dies just after the 2-year mark, their calls to customer service and warranty departments go completely unanswered, forcing them to buy a brand new battery out of pocket. The catchy television commercial promises the ultimate, reliable rescue when you are stranded. But underneath, critics point out it is closer to a highly priced convenience purchase with internal alloys that accelerate self-discharge and terrible post-sale support. Because what you are about to hear changes the way you look at century-old global brands. Number 3. Exide Extreme. Exide is an absolute titan of the global battery market. They have been making batteries for over 100 years, and the Extreme range is marketed in Australia as their absolute premium, heavy-duty line, complete with a massive 42-month warranty. You assume you are buying the absolute pinnacle of lead-acid engineering, but let us look at the terrifying mathematical precision of their failure rates. Australian mechanics and drivers have noticed a deeply disturbing trend with the modern Exide Extreme variants. Instead of lasting the promised 3.5 years, these premium units frequently suffer sudden internal voltage collapse. You will drive home from work perfectly fine, park the car, and the next morning you will turn the key and hear absolutely nothing. Just the dreaded, rapid clicking of a starter motor, starved of power. One driver explicitly noted that their standard Exide battery failed at 23 months, so they upgraded to the Extreme range for the longer warranty. The Extreme battery then failed at exactly 25 months. If this is a premium, extreme duty product, why does it behave like this? Because the name Extreme is heavily reliant on historical reputation, while the modern internal construction often struggles to handle the relentless vibration and heat of Australian roads. The heavy-duty branding suggests unbeatable longevity and ultimate starting power. But the breakdown statistics reveal a highly marketed battery that frequently collapses internally long before its premium warranty expires. And if you thought stepping up to an American classic was the answer, wait until you hear about number 4. Number 4, AC Delco Professional. AC Delco is deeply respected by mechanics across the country because it is the official original equipment brand for General Motors and Holden. Millions of Australians have AC Delco batteries installed by their local mechanic, assuming they are getting genuine factory-level quality. But the professional aftermarket series hides a massive, catastrophic manufacturing secret. In massive independent teardown tests, the AC Delco Professional series has ranked dead last. The problem lies in the incredibly poor quality of the internal plate construction. Under the stress of vibration and temperature cycling, the internal plates suffer from extreme, rapid corrosion. This is not just a slow loss of power, it is a catastrophic failure. The corrosion becomes so severe that the battery completely sulfates, rendering it a dead plastic brick in a shockingly short amount of time. What does that actually mean for your family? It means you are paying a mechanic top dollar for a professional grade part, but you are receiving a battery with internal failures so severe they border on manufacturing negligence. The mechanic's invoice promises genuine original equipment quality and absolute peace of mind. But the internal teardown proves a battery plagued by extreme internal plate corrosion that will suddenly strand you in a car park. And finally, we look at the most deceptive technological marketing in the industry. Number 5. Optima Yellow top. The Optima Yellow top is the absolute holy grail for four-wheel drive enthusiasts and car audio builders in Australia. It looks incredibly unique with its cylindrical spiral cell design, and it commands an absolutely massive, eye-watering premium price tag. You are told that the spiral cell technology makes it completely immune to vibration and capable of endless deep cycling. But let us strip away the colored plastic and look at the brutal reality. In recent years, the manufacturing of Optima batteries was moved, and the quality control absolutely plummeted. Independent testers and furious four-wheel drive owners report that the modern yellow tops suffer from catastrophic internal cell failure. During heavy vibration testing, the exact kind of driving you do on an Australian corrugated dirt road, the internal seals frequently fail. This creates a highly dangerous situation where the battery literally begins to leak corrosive acid out of its supposedly sealed, leak-proof casing. If this is the ultimate premium off-road battery, why does it physically break apart? Because you are paying massive amounts of money for a legacy marketing term, while the modern construction quality is, quite frankly, garbage. The expensive off-road catalogue promises vibration-proof, leak-proof, ultimate deep cycle power. But the reality of the Outback says an overpriced marketing gimmick that can rupture and leak acid all over your expensive engine bay. Do you see the massive glaring pattern here? The modern battery industry relies entirely on your ignorance of internal chemistry. They use cheap grid alloys that actively boil away the battery's water. They thin out the lead plates to save money, leading to sudden catastrophic snapping and sulfation. They hide behind complex warranty clauses that allow them to blame you when their cheap product inevitably fails. And they use legacy brand names to charge you premium prices for heavily downgraded, outsourced manufacturing. They want you to view car batteries as a disposable subscription. They want you to accept a breakdown every 2 years as a normal part of driving, but you do not have to accept this. Now let us talk about the Australian options that are actually worth your time and your hard-earned money. If you want a battery that will genuinely survive the Australian heat and comfortably start your car for half a decade, you must stop buying based on the brand sticker and start buying based on manufacturing origin and plate thickness. Option 1. Century Batteries, the Australian-made models. Century is one of the very last companies actually manufacturing batteries right here in Australia at their Carroll Park facility in Queensland. While their budget lines can be hit and miss, their premium Australian-made ultra-high performance range is exceptional. Because they are built locally, the internal plates are specifically cast thicker to handle the brutal, boiling under-bonnet temperatures of an Australian summer. They do not just import a European winter battery, they build heavy-duty lead structures designed for our specific harsh environment. Option 2, Amaron batteries. If you want absolute, unkillable reliability, you need to look at Amaron. Manufactured in India, these batteries are heavily favoured by Australian taxi drivers and fleet operators. Why? Because they use a highly advanced silver-calcium alloy inside their plates. This specific chemical makeup makes the battery incredibly resistant to extreme heat and drastically reduces the self-discharge rate. They are heavy, they are brutally over-engineered, and they regularly outlast their warranties by years. Option 3. Varta Silver Dynamic. If you drive a modern, high-tech European car with start-stop technology, you cannot use a standard cheap battery. You need an absorbent glass matte battery. Varta is the gold standard for German engineering. They use a patented stamped grid technology that physically prevents the internal plates from expanding, cracking, and corroding. They deliver massive, consistent power to your car's complex computers, and they do not suffer from the sudden internal collapse that plagues the cheaper brands. Australian consumer culture has drifted dangerously far from reality. We used to buy heavy, solid components that were built to last. Now, we blindly hand over $300 to a retail store for a brightly colored plastic box filled with cheap, thin lead, simply because it was the easiest option on the shelf. You do not have to be a victim of planned obsolescence. You do not have to accept being stranded in the rain because a corporate accountant decided to use less lead in your battery. Start checking the weight of the battery. Look for silver calcium alloys. Demand Australian-made or premium European engineering. If this video opened your eyes to the massive scams hiding under your car's bonnet, tap the like button so more Aussies can protect their wallets before their car refuses to start. If you want to stay one step ahead of the automotive industry and protect your family from being stranded, hit subscribe and turn on notifications because we are just getting started. Now I want to hear from you in the comments. Which battery brand left you completely stranded? Have you ever had a massive fight with an auto store over a denied warranty claim? Let me know your horror stories below.